Welcome to the Wake and Bake Podcast, episode 2. We're at it, back at it once again. Let me check to make sure this thing's recording here. Okay, yeah, we're live.
All right.
We're active, Pete.
Good morning.
What, the Chargers signed a tight end via the international program.
Ooh. So it's exciting.
We got this dude out of Australia, a rugby player. We're taking our plug at like, we're pulling a Zamet here.
Yeah, I always like a good rugby player.
His name is... Who is this guy? Oh, yeah. Jordan Patea. Signs with the Chargers. Did you guys get somebody from the international program?
Not currently that I know of.
No? I mean, Charger fans aren't. We had this dude, Okoye, on the roster for a couple years. I don't think he got any use last season, though. I mean, I think he was still on the team, but like, I don't remember him getting any reps.
Yeah.
I don't know if he even saw the field or if he was on the practice squad. I mean, the thing about these international guys is they don't they don't take up a roster spot.
Oh, I didn't know that. Like until the 53 is announced?
No, they don't like take up a roster spot at all.
Weird.
Like even during the season, they're like outside. Because that's the point, kinda. Is you've got this developmental international player that maybe could be something. I mean, I think the general purpose behind the program is to generate international interest in the game of football. Because if there's a way for these people in other countries to get into the NFL, these people will want to play football.
Right.
But if you don't give international people a way to play football, like a way into the league, like there's no incentive to play football.
Yeah. They're just going to keep playing hockey or rugby or basketball.
Oh my God. Dude, these chocolate croissant rolls. I don't know how long I can do this gluten-free thing, man.
Did it to yourself.
The so we got a rugby star. They signed him as a potential tight end. He's kind of small for a tight end. He's too big to be anything else.
Right. Which is how people end up playing tight end. Too small to be a lineman, too big to do anything else.
He's like 6'3", like 230.
The unfortunate side of that is that tight end's like one of the longest NFL developmental positions.
Like, as in that it takes the longest?
Yeah. Like even tight end, like college tight ends, a lot of them take 3 or 4 years to become serviceable NFL tight ends.
I could see that. Well, because you're a lineman and
Yeah.
you're a receiver.
You're on both sides of the offense.
You're playing two positions. I could see that.
At receiver, they don't care about the running game playbook. They're out there on the edge, you know, they get in the way. Maybe they're good at blocking that corner, maybe they're not. Nobody really cares that much.
Yeah, you got to learn everything. Well, and then, like, it's not just knowing the play, but it's also technique, right?
Right.
Like, you have to learn, like, legit blocking technique. You're not half-assing that.
Right. Which there's blocking in rugby, like, similar. So,
I mean, that Zamet guy, he didn't make it. Remember, the Chiefs got Reese Zamet, and he was like,
oh yeah, he was a really big deal.
he was like a super legit rugby
everybody
star.
was talking about that guy.
Like one of the premier players. And I mean, he had like a serious athletic resume. Like there's a strong case to be made if there was anybody athletic enough to make it. Granted, I mean, he tried to become a wideout.
Yeah.
Which is like all athleticism, pretty much. That's like, it's completely athletics driven.
Yeah.
You have to be a freak athlete to be a wideout in the NFL.
So now they just don't need Loveland.
What's that?
Now they just don't need to draft a tight end. They don't need Loveland. Loveland's off the board.
I think it says the opposite, actually. I think they took a stab at it because they're trying.
They clearly don't like their tight end room.
Well, it's not a matter of not liking. It's my understanding and belief of Harbaugh and Ortiz, their philosophy of team building is, I mean, it's very cheesy, but Harbaugh says it all the time. Literally all the time. Competitors welcome. And I mean, teams talk about that a lot. But like, here's the thing. The Chargers lost that playoff game against Houston. The defense did their thing. They held their own. Nobody's blaming it on the defense, as they shouldn't. They stepped away from that game going, our interior offensive line got disgraced, and we didn't have another pass catching threat. More importantly, the Houston Texans defense in particular is extremely strong on the outside perimeter. So between their two lockdown cornerbacks, and their safeties, like, those guys on the outside, don't try to go, like, if you think you're going to get a big play on them, like, that's not happening. Because they're so strong on the outsides. You got to beat them in the interior of their defense. And that's, you got to beat them in the middle. They got a soft middle.
Yeah.
And the Chargers could not do that. We couldn't do that with our run. And we could, because we didn't have the O-line to do it. And we couldn't do it with our pass catchers because we didn't really have a legit pass catching tight end. We had blocking tight ends, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, all right. My opener showed up. Yay.
Is the opener new?
So, you know, the Chargers, you know, and here's the thing too, it's like Chargering and Harbaugh, like, I would bet all the money I have, which is not much, but I would bet it that on the flight, I mean, the presser after the game, you could tell Harbaugh was just fuming. He doesn't like to lose.
Oh, after the Texans game?
Much less lose like that. You know what I'm saying? In a playoff game, in his first playoff game, like.
Yeah. When you supposedly built a culture of toughness.
Yeah, that really chapped his hide. I promise you that. Like, every fiber of his body. And to his credit, he never turned on the team and was like, he never turned on the team, you know? He's a good enough coach not to turn on his team and talk shit.
Right, well, he can't, because they would just turn on him. He's not getting...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's a culture builder.
Yeah.
But I mean, all the fans were screaming it. So, but actions speak louder than words. So, okay, interior O-line, tight end, pass catching tight ends, like that has to be fixed, right? What do we do? Becton's brought in. Zion, you're not just our left guard, okay? You better figure out how to play center and play it really, really well. Otherwise, you may not have a spot on the line.
Yeah.
We bring in this James dude who came from a similar scheme, had a lot of success in a similar scheme when the Raiders ran it. Had an injured year. You know, part of the reason he lost his job was because the Raiders drafted JPJ. You remember him? JPJ?
Yeah.
Powers Johnson. They got him in the last draft. So in the beginning of the second round, maybe higher. Yeah, it was the beginning of the second round they got JPJ. So they drafted that guy. He didn't have to start center last year. He played guard to get familiar with the O-line. He's their center now.
Right. And I remember
I think when James went down, JPJ actually got some reps at center. I'm not completely sure on that.
I remember you talking about him. You were really high on him.
So that's, that's why we picked up James. And I mean, I think I was talking about that on Wednesday. Like, Harbaugh in his owners meeting presser was like, oh yeah, Zion's playing center. Like, this is not rumor mill experiment. So all goes back to the tight ends. Pass catching tight ends being a big problem. I think the Chargers will still draft an interior O lineman. Be that Gray Zabel in the first round. That's the only person I see competing with Loveland for that first round pick is really Gray Zabel. If they think that highly of Gray Zabel.
I mean, interior O linemen are just not really first round picks unless they're off the chart.
I mean, the
center.
The thing about Zabel is that makes him particularly juicy for the Chargers is you talk about an O lineman that has flexibility. That guy's played every position. That's why they think he can be a center. You can literally plug and play that guy anywhere on a line. Was I talking to you about Greg Roman and I think kind of like the higher level philosophy they're trying to achieve?
I don't think so.
Like, I think one of the things, because I mean, Roman's done it on film. Right now, defensive fronts in the NFL like to move everybody around. Chris Jones, he'll go from left side to right side, interior, outside. Like, they move their guys around all the time.
Right.
They do that in an effort to mess with the offensive lines. To throw the offensive line curveballs. Yeah. So they can do a stunt or things like that.
It's harder to plan for.
Offensive lines traditionally don't play that game. Once you're in a position, you're in a position because they want you to get really, really good at that particular position. But there were a few plays last year where, for example, Roman brought Joe Alt over to the left side with Rashawn Slater next to each other. Like, he switched up. He brought out a heavy pack of 7 or 8 linemen and moved them all around on the defense in an attempt to mess with the defense. And I mean, Roman didn't really have the personnel to get that done. You have to have like elite personnel to do that with an O-line.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, you can't have like okay people on the line. Like, your squad's just got to be. So, but I do think that is the build plan. Like, that's the long-term vision, is to build this squad. And Mind you, I don't know how many offensive linemen other teams bring into a particular game. But the Chargers would bring in 9 O-linemen to every game. I think that's a little thick. I feel like a lot of teams usually bring 7. The Chargers would roster 9 O-linemen going into a given Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot. I would have said 8. That's my guess of
I thought it was 7 or 8. No. I looked it up. They would bring 9 last season. It makes sense because of the heavy packs they like to run. They may have 7 or 8 linemen on the. They'll put 7 linemen out there on the field at the same time on some kind of a regular basis. But you also got to realize, so it's there's the lineman aspect of the big vision, which is to have this elite squad that has fantastic flexibility, where you can put some funky packages out there, mess with the defense, and run the ball really nasty. But then you also put out these 2 tight end sets. So you put those linemen out there plus 2 tight ends.
So you have.
But that means those tight ends are going to be your pass catchers in a play action.
Right.
And if those guys can't catch passes, it doesn't work.
Your trick play. Your one play action trick play does not work.
It doesn't work, yeah. Then your play action doesn't work. Because the defense is going, none of these guys can catch a ball.
Yeah.
They're the easiest people to cover ever.
They might as well all wear an ineligible number.
They're the easiest people to cover ever, you know? They got that one little guy over there, Lad McConkey. He can catch a ball. Everybody else, nope. Not worried about it. So this all harkens back to, we've got the large scale offensive design, which Harbaugh has been extremely public about. He said it directly after the playoff game. He goes, if you look at the best teams that made the playoffs, went all the way to the Super Bowl this year, they are really good they are dominant play action teams. I mean, he said it right there. That's our plan, is to be a dominant play action team. And if you look at play action, do you know what play action is?
Yeah.
What you define that as?
Yeah, you fake a handoff.
It's faking a run. It's a pass play, but you're faking run. It's going to look run, it's going to smell run, but it's a pass play. That's play action.
The linemen are allowed to go within
Mind you, too.
a yard of the line of scrimmage, blocking.
Yeah. It's going to be a heavy pack. You're going to have 2 receivers out there, maybe just 1. Which, in order to make play action work, you got to have a strong run game. Because otherwise they don't believe you.
Right.
The defense goes, you're not that good at running. You're not running it again. They'll sniff it out, So you really do have to have you have to have a respectable run game. Like, you can't have an iffy run game.
Even more to that, you have to have a...
And I mean, the Chargers' run game got better last year, significantly better. I mean, the year before, we could not run to save our life.
Right.
Like, they would give us light boxes, beg us to run, and we still couldn't hardly run.
Not mentioning any names, Eckler.
This year, everybody knew Roman was going to try to run, and we did. But against stiffer fronts like the Steelers, like, they just beat us. Like, we lost the game.
Yeah.
Because we were good, but not that good. I mean, the Steelers sniffed it out. I mean, Harbaugh said going into that game, he's like, we're going to find out what we're made of.
Right. We're still aspiring.
Yeah, we're still aspiring to be a good run team, okay?
A physical pound you in the mouth.
We're not quite there yet. We're not quite ready for the AFC North, right? Is that the AFC North?
Yeah.
Yeah. Baltimore and the Steelers and yeah.
It's a different brand of run defense up there.
I mean, that's really, you're going to find out if you can. You're going to find out if you're a tough team against those two teams. For sure. So for the Chargers, I mean, it was public that they tried to go after Mark Andrews pretty strongly. I mean, that was what one of the major beat reporters, I want to say it was Daniel Popper of The Athletic. That said, if there's a place the Chargers came up short, it was in pursuit of a tight end.
Oh, this offseason?
Yeah. Like in free agency, because they did try to go after Devontae Adams. They did try to go after like Zeitler. They did try to go after they did try to make a deal on DK.
Yeah. Everybody wanted DK.
I mean, there were strong talks for DK. But I mean, the Steelers handed DK $30 million a year, which is nuts.
Yeah, but it's not that nuts anymore. And I mean, and I don't like the way Miami built their team. I don't agree with that, but that's more and more teams are going that route.
Yeah, but DK's production, like, there's just no justification for that kind of contract. $30 million a year for 5 years? He's like 27.
I know. But, I mean, I feel like Geno Smith has grown on me, but not that much. Like, DK is putting up pretty good numbers with not that good a quarterback. Granted, he's not going to get a great quarterback in Pittsburgh, so.
Geno Smith signed an extension.
Yeah, big one.
Well, I think he only got like 40 though, right?
Maybe it was only that. I thought it was bigger than that over like 3 years.
Hey, should we try our mics with noise cancellation?
Yeah.
You want to give it a shot? Let's give this noise cancellation a shot. So you got to hit the power button. I think it's supposed to turn yellow though.
Because if you hold the power button, it turns off, right? So you're just supposed to tap it.
I thought the color was supposed to change, but if I tapped it, I have no idea if it's on or off now.
Me neither.
Oh well. We'll have to see on the film. What time is it? Let's see the marker here.
6:25.
We are 30 minutes in, like on the button. Perfect. So 30 minutes in. So, again, I mean, actions speak louder than words. Chargers kind of whiffed in free agency on a tight end. Okay, let's bring in a tight end from the international program. Let's see if he's got some juice.
Yeah.
Like, they're trying to fill that room. They got a free agent, Conklin. They're gonna. I think they'll draft Loveland if he's there with their first pick for sure. By the way, I was listening to the Guilty as Charged podcast. Which, if you're a Charger fan, you should be listening to. Okay, because those guys are awesome. They did a podcast on the safest players in the draft, which is a great episode, by the way. I mean, you know what? That's the kind of episode, even though you're a Patriots fan, like, you would love that episode because it's kind of like a draft gems kind of type episode. Like, these are the safest picks. They're not the obvious first rounders. Yeah. Like, these are safe, lower second to third to fourth round picks.
It's just, you can say it, since the Patriots have had such terrible drafts the last 6 years.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're a Patriots fan wanting to know like who you should be rooting for after the first round, like, it's a fantastic episode.
Okay.
It's not even that oriented around Chargers specific needs, team needs.
Yeah. It's just the list of the draft. Patriots traded Joe Milton yesterday.
Who?
Joe Milton, their 6th round draft pick from last year, quarterback.
Oh yeah.
And it's like getting way overblown.
Dude, you know, we didn't get to talk about. Yeah, good job,
always
dude.
Cares about the backup quarterback way more
Milton.
than they should.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It's not that big a deal.
You don't think so?
No.
I think they got a good deal on it. I read about it.
I mean, everybody's is up in arms.
Didn't they get like a 5th round this year?
They didn't get enough, that they could have got more.
No.
But it's like, these guys watched him every day at practice. They know who he is. He's an older quarterback, is an older rookie. Like, his college film is his college film. Like, he got drafted in the 6th round for a reason. He's not going to go any higher.
I mean,
you know?
let's be real. The days of Bill Belichick's Patriots fleecing the rest of the other clubs for like third rounders and stuff in the draft for their backup QBs, it's over.
Right.
I know Patriots fans are used.
We are very used to getting.
Patriots are used to getting way too much for their backup QBs, dude. Yeah.
Right.
Like way too much.
We can only hope Drake May ascends to that level of culture quarterback.
I mean, if it gets to that point again, like you've got a dynasty going, right?
Right.
Like, come on.
But no, so they got a 5th. They traded him to Dallas for a 5th, and they gave up their 7th this year. So essentially, they traded last year's 6th round pick and this year's 7th round pick for this year's 5th round pick. You know, like, and that's not crazy.
I mean, a 5th rounder this year, I think, is worth a lot, dude.
Yeah, it's worth a lot more than a 7th rounder this year.
Yeah, because of the way the depth, the talent depth on these classes, like, people are going to be getting starters in the 4th and 5th round. You better believe it. I believe.
So as long as they don't blow that pick, that's fine. Like, he wasn't ever going to play. The whole thing is, you know, it's Drake May's team. And, like, yeah, it's nice to have a cheap backup quarterback, but, like, you don't need a guy.
Which, hey, actions speak louder than words, right? Like, what's our call here? That the Patriots are going to move back to the Jets?
Yeah. And they want more draft capital to be able to move back up.
You know what? I think we do have our noise cancellation on because there's 2 lights. There's a light on the left and a light on the right. One's yellow, and that's
on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah, that means it's noise cancellation.
Yeah, my yellow light on the other side.
So we did activate noise cancellation, and we are both in noise cancellation mode. I just saw that on yours.
Canceling our noise. Yeah, everybody's like, if you just let him play the spring, he can up his stock, maybe get a 4th, like just a bare 5th out of him or a 4th out of him.
I mean, I think Vrabel wants to win some games this year. They spent some money in free agency this year, unlike last year.
There also might have been they don't want the controversy behind Drake. If Milton looks that good in the spring,
I mean, if
Drake has a bad September or something,
you got to look at it this way too. Like, how high can Milton's stock get? Right?
It's already at like
it's
high.
It's 90% there. Like, maybe it could get a little higher, maybe just a little bit higher, but it's not. And the league is completely quarterback starved this year, right? So Milton went to the Cowboys, right?
Right.
Wow. That's kind of... Did they get rid of... who did they got him from the Niners? Trey Lance.
Yeah, he's gone.
Is he gone?
I think so. But they had Cooper Rush last year as their... And he was a serviceable backup. He actually signed with somebody Baltimore, I want to say.
Dude, is Trey Lance, like, out of the league, bro?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
That's wild.
Or he's just still on Dallas, but they're over him.
Dude, he's 24 years old.
Because he was, what, the 4th overall pick? Way back when?
Yeah. Dude, he was drafted high. Really high. Yeah, he's a free agent, dude.
That's crazy because he was in the Mac Jones draft And Mac Jones went 15 as the 4th or 5th quarterback taken in that year. And now Mac Jones is the backup on San Francisco. It all comes full circle.
Ahead of the 2021 draft, they predicted Lance or Mac Jones would be taken 3rd overall by the Niners, who traded up with the Miami Dolphins in exchange for their first-round picks in 21, 22, and 23, and their 3rd-round pick in 2022. The Niners selected Lance. 3rd overall. Good God, what a bust, bro. How Lynch still has his job after doing that, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that bad.
And I like Lynch, okay? I like him a lot. I like him a lot as a GM. Loved him as a player. John Lynch is awesome.
Yeah, I love John Lynch as a player.
But
I don't know too much.
Not trying to bring down, you know? Not trying to breed John Lynch hate, okay? Nobody can hate John Lynch.
I knew that they had traded for the Lance pick, but I didn't know they had traded that much.
Dude. 3 years of first-round picks. A 2nd and a 3rd. So 5 picks to get that guy. Nothing.
And then they end up starting Mr.
Just
Irrelevant.
starting Brock Purdy.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Like, if Brock Purdy, if they hadn't have just, like, found a unicorn, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Lynch would be fired.
Yeah. Purdy saved his job.
Purdy saved his job. Single-handedly. Because outside of Purdy, like, what? I mean, his draft history, his personnel history is like all over the map, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's either feast or famine, bang or bust.
Well, he's drafted some good receivers.
Drafting, even free agency wise. Even free agency wise, though. Like, CMC made him look good.
Yeah.
CMC made him look good. You know?
I don't know. I mean,
Purdy made him look good.
They gave up a lot for CMC, though, didn't they?
That's a good question. We should look that up.
Like, so they might be right back to where they were with the Lance deal, where they're out of picks for the next handful of years.
I mean, I just feel like there's no hate for John Lynch with the 49ers fan base. Oh, Christian McCaffrey trade. What? That's not real.
Like he got traded right now.
That's an April Fool's, dude. Panthers traded McCaffrey to the Niners for 2023 second, third, and fourth round picks.
Oh, but
and a 2024 fifth round pick.
Oh, so it was all in that draft.
Jeez.
So that's not as bad as I thought.
I mean, yeah, but like, dude.
It's a lot of picks. But
that's a lot of picks, bro.
It's all over.
I mean, between Trey Lance and CMC, like, dude, come on. Have some value in your draft picks, bro.
Well, and now this offseason, they've lost like a lot of their big fan favorite guys.
I mean, that just speaks to kind of like a recruitment philosophy of like, hey, we want proven commodities over, like, you don't, the philosophy is very different for like Baltimore and like the Chargers now, okay?
Right, where they covet draft picks and they want to develop young talent.
doesn't give away picks.
Yeah.
The Ravens don't give away picks ever. Ever. Because their whole thing is we want an extra 10 to 12. We want an extra 3 to 5 picks every draft.
Right.
Which you get 7 automatically, right?
The Patriots were always accumulating extra picks.
Like their whole thing is like, we want more stabs at it. That way, if we whiff, it hurts less. Because we will whiff. No matter how good we are at this process, like we're gonna whiff. We accept that. So we need as many stabs at it as possible.
The Dynasty Patriots always had a ton of picks because they were so good they would end up with so many.
I mean, Bill would always make a deal to move down. Like
he would always move down for extra picks, but
absolutely.
Also they would get a lot of compensatory picks because their players were so good that would inevitably
they would never pay.
They could never pay them in free agency, so they would.
I mean, guys wanted to play there just to win a Super Bowl, so
right. So, but they would end up with.
So they get these compensatory picks,
boatloads of 5th-round picks.
Yeah.
And then trade those for either other picks or.
Like I think that was just more a product of like, we'll call it the Lombardi effect, okay? Like you start winning some Lombardis, you got a really good QB and a really good coach. The rest of the players in the league start to go, all the veterans that want to chase a ring, you know, they got their payday, like, ooh, I want a ring now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go play for that team on a budget contract. Like, that's a thing now. That really, you know what? That really wasn't a thing previous to the Patriots dynasty, I would argue. But that's a thing now. It's the same thing the Chiefs have working for them, right?
Yep.
Chiefs, the Ravens kind of have it working for him. I mean, look at Derrick Henry. He went there not because of the money. It's because he was just like, dude, I want to play with Lamar behind that run game. Like, we're going to win a fucking bowl.
Yeah. Now the Patriots have the opposite, where no one wants to go there. They try to offer receivers $30 million a year.
It can work against you too. Like,
just like, nah.
It can work against you too.
I'm gonna take 25 somewhere else, anywhere else.
That place is a train wreck. You know how much you'll have to pay me to play there?
I'm not taking 30 to go there.
The Browns?
Yeah.
You want me to go play for that train wreck? Ooh, boy, that's gonna be pricey. That's going to be expensive. I've been trying to promote I was listening to a mock draft yesterday by Mina Kimes and Field Yates.
Uh-huh.
Which I respect Field Yates. I mean, you remember him from the fantasy football days, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of like a senior level dude now. I mean, I remember when we were playing fantasy football, he was just this snot nose.
Yeah, I mean, he's been around for like 15
Yeah, he was just a snot nosed fantasy football guy.
Yeah. In like the early days of fantasy football, when they're like, yeah, I mean, you can do that niche.
By the way, to go on a tangent here, Matthew Berry.
The king.
What the hell is Matthew Berry doing these days?
I don't know. He's not doing the same thing he's been doing for
God, man,
forever.
they broke up that podcast, that fantasy football podcast. They broke it up, and that was the dumbest move ever. Because that was the best football podcast.
Yeah.
Like Nate Ravitz and Matthew Berry. It was so good.
Maybe they're just gonna move him to a straight up football betting podcast.
Yeah, like what is Nate? Where is Nate Ravitz?
Now that full on gambling apps are overtaking true fantasy football.
Oh man, and not only that, like I feel like fantasy football went into a whole nother stratosphere of popularity with betting.
It did, but you don't even have to play actual fantasy. You just bet on players like game to game, which is fantasy. You're just betting on the stats of a single player. But that's a different pot. Like it's a different show than Matthew Berry's traditional fantasy football show.
It's too bad. I hate when they do that.
So I don't know if that's what they did, but I feel like that would be smart.
They break up a good thing.
Do it.
Pete, if we ever get rich off this podcast, we can't break it up, okay? Can't let that happen, okay?
Good. I mean, we could.
Then the Cowboys re-signed Dak Prescott.
Yeah, for a lot of money.
Right?
And then he got injured, and then he came back from the injury, but I think part of the Milton thing was like Milton wants to play and be a backup. And Dak does miss a lot of time, so that was the whole thing is Cooper Rush got to play like 8 games. So
what did Dak get injured with?
I do not remember.
Who's the Browns QB? Who's the Browns QB? QB. So the Browns' current roster chart has Kenny Pickett as the starter and Deshaun Watson as the backup.
$250 million backup, baby. That's how you build a roster.
I mean, what are you going to do with Deshaun Watson, right? Nobody else wants him. He could start. If you absolutely need him to, you know?
I mean, I kind of feel like they have to. Like, the new season, like, you have to just start again.
They're going to start Pickett. I mean, it's actually really kind of not a horrible... Like, you're going to start Pickett and make Deshaun Watson earn his job back. If he can. If he can. If he's capable of it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, and Pickett has a hungry dude on his ass. Like, if Watson doesn't show something next season at all, if he even gets a chance to show it, if he doesn't show something really good, his career is done. Done on done on done.
I mean, here's the question though. Can his body like maintain the NFL beatdown without getting massages? I don't think it can.
Clearly, he needs massage work because he has not been able to stay healthy.
I mean, everybody needs massage work. Like, your body takes a beating, but you know, he hasn't figured that part out yet.
And can you get a massage without raping a woman?
That is really, you know, that's the quarterback play that he hasn't figured out
Oh
yet.
my God. Dude, Deshaun Watson, man. God dang it. I hadn't really thought of the Browns QB situation that way yet. Like, you're stuck with Deshaun Watson. Here's the thing, it's like either way you got to pay him, right? Because you did the stupid guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't get rid of him because nobody else wants him. Like, well, I mean, he's going to be on the roster because we paid for it.
Yeah.
Just because we paid for it. That's it. So we start Kenny Pickett, and if Deshaun decides to pull his head out of his ass and start playing some great football all of a sudden, well, great. But
yeah.
In the meantime, we got a journeyman QB, Kenny Pickett, good old Kenny Pickett. Which I don't know that Pickett played horrible for the Steelers, right? I just feel like
no, I mean he should have.
I feel like the
been
Steelers
better than he was. Like,
I feel like the Steelers moved on
team.
because they just figured out he wasn't the answer. Like, no, this guy is not the guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be more to it. Obviously, I wasn't watching the games that much, but they must have known something about him that he wasn't going to work out. Because they had such their roster was always really good outside of the quarterback. I need to go move my car. So open up.
Already.
We gotta shut her down.
Roger that. What are we at? What's our show at here? Oh, bam, 1 hour. Should we cut it?
Yeah.
That's a show. That's a show, y'all. Thanks for tuning in for the Wake and Bake podcast. It's Quentin here and Pete. We're signing out. Bye-bye now.
See you next week.